Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for tuning in to this one. Bit of an important topic, something I wasn't sure I would even post about, but I think it is something that's important to highlight, and again it's a bit of a taboo subject sometimes, so wanted to kind of just talk about it, put it out there, kind of break the stigma with it, as it's really important. And you know, as a health and fitness coach, sorry, Wesley's having a drink. You know, I'm all things health and fitness, not just about the sort of aesthetic changes, also about what's going on with our health on the inside, you know, physically and mentally. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to help put out helpful content, so it's very much appreciated. Basically, for those who don't know, a little bit of background. I had breast implants put in 2018, then I had them removed in January 2022, just before the lockdown, thank the Lord. I don't know how I would have coped. I was really poorly, basically. I had lots of tests. I've done a full video on this really far back. It was one of my very first YouTube videos. Yeah, loads of tests. No one could work out what was wrong with us, and I heard about breast implant illness and decided to explant in the hope that I would feel better, and I did. So yeah, basically it's called breast implant illness, and I suppose there's no way that I'll ever know that it was that, because it's not actually like a medically, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not something that you can test for medically to know if you've had it or not, but it's basically just like toxins in your body, and your body essentially just rejecting the implants because it's not natural for them to be there. Some women get it instantly, some women get it after years. I believe, looking back, I potentially had it sooner than what I thought, but I was really poorly. I don't really get ill very often, and there's photos on my Instagram. I post about this quite a lot, and also, as I say, I did a full video on it a while back going into that. But just a bit of background, basically. So I had my implants removed January 2022, as I say, and I've got now a lot of scar tissue because I had a full M block, which basically means they took away the implant, but they also took away the scar tissue. So when you get breast implants, it forms a scar tissue around as a sort of like a protective layer. It's like the body protecting itself again, because it's like, what is this foreign thing in my body? So I had the full thing removed after like doing a lot of research that a lot of people were advising to get. I think it's called a capsulectomy. I don't know why I can never pronounce words. Basically, I had the lot removed. So obviously my boobs, you know, they're not actually too dissimilar to what they used to look like. They're slightly smaller now. And obviously they're changing age anyway, but they feel very different now because of the scar tissue underneath. So whilst I had the scar tissue removed that was around the implant, there's obviously scar tissue there now from having 2 operations. So, you know, I mean, I was always quite good for checking my boobs anyway, but I've been all the more religious since that happened. And a couple of weeks back, I was actually just out for drinks, food and drinks with my friends, and went on about something. I didn't have a bra on, and I went like that, and I felt a little bit of a lump, and I was like, oh, that feels like a little lump, that's a bit weird. And I was like, oh, I'll not panic about it now, out for cocktails. Didn't really think about it for the whole weekend, and then that was on the Friday night, then the Sunday night I was in the shower and checked them again, and I could still feel this like small lump kind of at the side of my left boob. And again, like, I was thinking, has that been there? Have I felt it before? Like, my boobs do feel like very different and weird. And then a couple of days went by and I felt it again, and I thought I should really ring the doctors. And it's always one of those things where I think, oh, I'm just gonna go down to the doctors. They're going to say like, oh, you know, it's nothing, you're fine. And then go away, and like, not just like the time or anything, I just don't want to feel like I'm wasting the doctor's time if somebody's actually really poorly. So one thing that I want to stress from the start is, if you are concerned about your health, go and see your GP. You're not wasting anyone's time, even if it's just peace of mind. And that's one thing that I was like, right, just go. Even just for me, it is a chore. I don't like going to the doctors. I really hate it. So again, when I had that breast implant illness, I was back and forth at the doctors, going to hospital appointments. Like, I hate it. I really don't like being poorly, and I think that's one thing that you know, on my fitness journey was part of the reason, like, why I started, because I want to feel like physically strong and healthy. So yeah, anyway, I rang the doctors, which is a pain in the bum anyway, because you've literally, like, for my doctors anyway, you've got to ring like when they're open, and the line's always busy. And I thought, oh, just wait a bit. And then I was like putting it off really bad, thinking I was going to be wasting people's time. Anyway, I rang, and then I had an appointment that day to see the nurse practitioner. And so she checked my boobs over again. Like, that can feel really uncomfortable to some people. I don't actually really mind anything like that. And it's similar with the smear. Like, yeah, it's not the greatest having people down there, and you know, you haven't got your clothes on. It's a very private area, but you know, you've got to think of the bigger picture here. Like, it's a couple of minutes just to potentially save your life. So yeah, I had the nurse check them, explained a bit about my background, even though it's on file, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, right, okay, we're going to refer you for an emergency ultrasound appointment and go, like, you know, you're getting referred. And I mean, honestly, I was just like, what? Because I just thought I was going to be like, you know, sent on my way. Like, yeah, you're fine. It's just a bit of scar tissue. And she was like, you know, with your background, and she said I was over 30. I was like, actually only just 30, thanks very much. I am nearly 31. But you know, the older you get, the more at risk you are. I actually started my periods really young as well. I was like 10, and that puts you in a higher risk category as well. And then having more scar tissue, which they do tell you before you get breast implants. They don't tell you about breast implant illness, but they do tell you about the scar tissue. It can increase your risk of cancer. Again, I think they just do tell you that to cover their backs and cover their bases. Cover the bases. Don't know if that's the right phrase, but you get me gist anyway. They just got to cover the backs and stuff and tell you the basics, sorry. So yeah, so she said that, and I was just like, okay. She was like, we don't want to mess around, you know. I mean, she was amazing. She was just like, you know, it's best to just get it checked. You don't want to like wait. It's very small, and if it's anything, you know, like potentially caught early. And I was like, okay. So I was just like, right, okay. Obviously, I was really worried. As you do, instantly you think of cancer, and that's what everybody thinks. And yeah, so I was like, right, okay, we'll just wait for this emergency appointment to come through. She said it would be about 2 weeks, and then within a couple of days, oh no, it was the next day, I got a text to confirm my appointment for the following Friday. So it was literally going to be within a week. And like, again, like, my heart sunk when the text came through and everything, and it actually happened to be the day after my sister's wedding. So I was like, I'm already going to be in a fragile state, but at least I've got a busy week with work, and then my sister's wedding to distract us from it. I don't want to sit and lull over it and be like, da, 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 and like ruin anything to do with my sister's wedding. So I didn't really tell anyone except my mum, my best friend, and just like a couple of people, because again, it can just be nothing, like, you don't know. And I think you do, in your own mind, when you sat with your own thoughts, can make yourself spiral a little bit. I did cry a few times, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I was worried. I wouldn't say that I was not worried, because it is one of those things. And again, this is why I wanted to share this, because it's okay to feel that way, it's normal. But anyways, so the week went by, had my sister's wedding, which, you know what, actually there was points of the wedding where I was like, this is the least I've thought about it for hours, because I was so busy, and it actually came kind of around a good time for me in terms of that. Like, I wasn't just sitting around like quiet twiddling my thumbs. Not that I ever really am, I'm always keeping myself busy. But anyways, so the next day went for the appointment, you know, just went to the hospital, was in the waiting area. So I had a letter prior to this as well, I should say, that came like earlier in the week. I had to fill out a form and stuff ready for when I got there. And again, it was like, you know, whilst everyone automatically thinks it's cancer, a lot of people walk away from this appointment without it being, with it not being the case, sort of thing. But again, you just say the words and you're like, oh God, like, it could be cancer, and it does make you worry. And I was like, I'm only 30, I've got so many things I want to do. And then again, like, going through my mind, I was like, oh my God, what if I've got to lose my boobs completely? Like, I can't get implants in because they've made us really poorly before. And like I say, these spiraling thoughts can just send you away. But anyway, I digress. So I went to the appointment. I wasn't waiting too long. Again, I got seen by a doctor who did a check of my hypometer gown. He checked my boobs again and then sent us for the ultrasound. So I had to sit and wait in another waiting room in my gown and wait to be seen for the ultrasound. I was told the appointment could be like a few hours, maybe longer, depending on what it was like and stuff. But I thankfully wasn't waiting too long, which wasn't too bad. So anyways, had the ultrasound, and it's like when the only thing I can liken it to, if you haven't had one before, is like if you're pregnant, and they put the gel on and then they run over the little thing and they can see stuff on the machine. So they did that with my boob in the area, and basically it was a cyst. And apparently this is really common. So it's really common in women anyway, and also even more common when you've got more scar tissue. So obviously that was a relief. Then the guy was really nice. There was like a nurse there as well, and then he basically just said, I'm just going to drain it. He said, I can see you've got a few other like smaller ones in there on the scar tissue, which is normal. And he said, if you do ever feel them again, obviously get in touch and we can just drain them. So he just put a needle in and drained the fluid out, and it's literally gone now. Like crazy. I had a little teeny bruise. It was just like getting blood taken. Like it wasn't like really bad, and it was over within a minute, and that was just kind of it. So whilst I did worry a little bit, I am glad that I didn't like let myself spiral into a bad headspace about it and like waste time and like ruin my sister's wedding, like worrying about what could have been. I was trying to tell myself, like, if you let yourself go into panic mode, you're going to go through this twice and make it 10 times worse. And I'm so pleased that I just kept more of a level head than what I probably would have done in the past, because I've had a pretty similar experience in the past when I was much younger. So, you know, obviously the maturity level as well, and like life experience and stuff. But I'm so pleased that I didn't let it like sort of take control. But when I did do the posts on Instagram, I posted about it again. I just wanted to raise awareness, break the stigma. It's so normal, and it's just like one of those things, like just checking your boobs regularly. Like you could catch something so early on, and like even just something like this, but 9 times out of 10 it's not cancer. And as I say, a lot of people will comment on the post saying this happened to me, this happened to me, and so many women. I was actually shocked myself, like, by how many women this has happened to. And that's only the people that commented, because I bet you there's people that potentially seen that post or even didn't see the post but like didn't want to comment, you know, and women that this has happened to, and just didn't even know how common cysts are. I certainly didn't. So that was definitely like very comforting to know, and that's why I thought, you know what, I want to do a YouTube video on this as well, just to talk a bit more in depth about it, and just know like to not worry, but the importance of checking your boobs regularly. Just do it with, there's like loads of things. If you even just search the hashtag on Instagram, check your boobs, or Google it, like how to do it, but just with your fingers, and then just I go in circles from the outer around the boob, inside, right into the nipple, and then I go in my armpits and right up to my collarbone and down under my boobs as well, because you can have breast tissue all around there. Sometimes you can get in your armpits too. I mean, even that lump for me was like verging towards my armpit, like, because it was right round at the side. So yeah, just the same on each one. I mean, they say to do it like some advise every day, some advise once a week. I try to do it once a week. Normally I do it on hair washing day, since I only tend to do that once a week. And then obviously again, because your boobs can feel different at different points of your cycle. Obviously, you know, like you'll know yourself, your boobs probably feel more swollen, a bit more tender, bigger, around like sort of just before your period, and then they'll obviously lose that when you come on your period and after. So they can feel different at different points of your cycle. So it's just about getting to know your body. Like, just like anything, what I say with people's health and fitness journey is just learning about your body and what it feels like and what's normal to you, and, you know, just looking after yourself. Like, this is an important part of your health. Like, you want to, if it was anything serious, God forbid, you want to catch that as soon as possible. Go and see someone. Don't be afraid to, you know, get in touch with someone and voice your concerns and be seen, even if it's just for peace of mind, because you're not wasting anyone's time. Because there was me thinking, it'll be nothing, I'll be in and out in 5 minutes. And whilst I was kind of in and out within 5 minutes, it was also, was then referred, and you know, they were just double checking that everything was okay. Like, thank God for the NHS, by the way. Like, literally, they were amazing. So lucky in the UK to have that. But yeah, it can just feel like you're wasting people's time, but you know, you can't put a price on your health, and it's so important. Even just your mental health, because your mental state, when you start to worry, when you feel things like this, like, it's really important to, you know, look after all aspects of our health, and that's why I kind of want to do this video. So hopefully that helps. I'll see if I can link below as well, like I'm sure there's an Instagram account that I follow that tells you how to check your boobs and stuff. I'll see if I can link one anyway, just for something to save that you can use for future reference. But as I say, even just as simple, just doing small circles in a circular motion around your boob, and then working your way towards the inside is the way I was always taught. And then, as I say, checking right in your armpits, up towards your collarbone, and then just slightly down under your boobs, like towards like the rib cage there. As I say, I mean, it's not going to do you any harm to check any further around that surface area anyway. So yes, hopefully this has been a helpful video. A little bit different, but again, like something that's part of my health and fitness journey because of everything that happened with the breast implant illness, but an important aspect of female health. And similar with your smears, as I've said, you know, it can be uncomfortable, and it's more the embarrassment, I think. Like, you've got to get your boobs out, you've got to get, you know, your vagina out, and it can feel so like intruding, but you know, no one's there for any other reason other than to make sure that you are fit and healthy and well, and that is all we want, is optimal health. So yeah, I'm going to stop there because I could ramble on forever. But please let us know if you found this helpful. If you've had a similar experience and you'd be happy to share that, pop that below. I do think that it's comforting and know that we're not alone in these journeys and these situations, and it can be really helpful, even if it's anybody that like sees this and reads those comments and that is currently, you know, waiting for that referral appointment or whatever it is. It can help people to take some comfort in that. So yes, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one.